Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Buzz, buzz, babies, and welcome back to another episode of Blake's Buzz. I know you're seeing a lot of me this week. It's been a busy week. We had a Monday night show. We had Tuesday with Blake and Cole read a book, and then we got a show tonight, and I got a show tomorrow, and then Friday. I'm done with all you motherfuckers. I'm taking a break. It's gonna be amazing. But no, I am really excited. I've got a really cool show tonight. I've got a couple awesome guests. We're gonna bring them on in just a moment. But as you know, this is the time for that sponsored announcement because Will Allred's Crossover Division Volume 1, Fictions and Other Truths is live on Kickstarter. It's coming down to the final 48 hours. It's so close to getting funded. This last little push is all we need to get this oversized, gorgeous, deluxe hardcover on your shelves. Right here, I'm showcasing the absolutely beautiful dust jacket that's going to come with this book. It's got the first 4 issues, some wonderful back matter, and an absolutely stellar cover gallery of some of the awesome artists that Will has brought on to do variants for his book. And now, real quick, I'm going to put on my fancy voice and read you the solicit. When stories come to life and threaten to fracture reality beyond repair, only an English professor and a research librarian have the knowledge and smarts to save us all. Join Hank Wallace and Hector Ramirez in Crossover Division Volume 1, Fictions and Other Truths, as they encounter the War of the Worlds, Dracula, and Shakespearean tragedy in a small Midwestern town. This limited edition oversized hardcover collects Crossover Divisions number 1 through 4. This is a very, very cool comic, guys, and it still needs a little bit of help. It's about just short of 500 under goal. We need to make it happen. It's a beautiful book. It's a great comic, and it's actually a wonderful celebration of literature. He brings in some really great, literary fiction to talk about and mixes it with the pulp wonders of the comic book medium. And if you all look in the chats, I'm going to post a little link for that, guys, so you can go check it out. And all right, so let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Have you heard of Daybreak? It is a really awesome indie superhero comic. The 3rd issue is live on Kickstarter right now, and I've got 2 of the creators in the house. I've got Mr. Keith Champagne, the writer, Mr. Stefan Tosheff, the phenomenal artist, who's just bringing these panels to life, making them slap, bang, pop, whatever you want to do. This comic is doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, how you 2 doing tonight?
Great.
Take it away, bud. I am very well, thank you. I got to go back Crossover Division really quick.
Yeah, please.
Actually, I backed the last one that he did, and I like that book. And I guess I'm one of those assholes that wasted the last minute to back it. So I'm going to back it right now while we're talking.
Hey, man, those last 48 hours are no joke. It happens to everybody. What's up, Mr. John Westhoff of Part-Time Comics, Biz, Baz, and Buzzin'? Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Mr. David is in the house. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Lovely to see you back. Always appreciate our viewers because you are the ones that, make the dream come true, both for me and for these guys. Because if you're not out there backing their comics, then they're having a hard time making them. Comics are not cheap. They're not always cheap to buy as a consumer, and they're damn sure not cheap to make. And it's one of the things that I really like about Kickstarter is how just passionate you have to be about the project, about the idea, and to just invest your own time and money and risk, right, to make these projects happen. Luckily, you guys are sitting over goal, which is good. So you're funded. So good news is, ladies and gentlemen, if you back this campaign, it's going to happen. You're going to get this awesome comic. You can still get back issues and variants and stuff through the campaign. The first 2 issues have been great. I got to read the 3rd one. The 3rd one was also fucking great. And I'm really stoked to see how it wraps up. There's a lot of drama, a lot of tension, a lot of things are happening in this 3rd issue. I don't want to spoil anything, but definitely revealing the mysteries of Daybreak is definitely happening. This mythos and world you guys are building is just really, really awesome. Where did this dream? Have you guys worked together before? I know Keith's been around a while. How'd you guys come together?
Take it, man.
We worked together on a book called Silver Streak for it's called Lev Gleason now. That used to be called Chapter House. I was the artist paired with him, and I ruined his life.
He did. He actually ruined my life. I didn't hear a thing you just said. I was back in Crossover Division. Can you repeat everything you just said, Blake? up until this moment.
Everything I just said? Well,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious how your life got ruined. Other than being on my show. How many times have you been on my fucking show now? 5 times or something? It's been a lot. You've been around. You're like a co-host.
I don't
now.
know. I thought it was 3, but I guess did I like? Was I like a guest star for other people's?
Yeah.
campaigns?
So you were on with Ron Mars.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
For the spy. Oh my God. I can't even think of the name of the book.
Riot Earp, I think.
Riot Earp,
right?
yes. So you're on for that, and then you're on for Daybreak twice. Maybe okay, so I guess it's your 4th time. Your 4th time on the show.
Well, I better come on again. I gotta do 5 now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta come back for the double sized finale because that's just exciting. I was really excited when I read that and the very cool title page you guys did with the guest artist and with the monkey janitor, the gorilla janitor, which I love that guy. So those moon monkeys, man, like that's such a fun idea. And I love that. But yeah, a great page. But yeah, when I was reading that and because I knew it was going to be 4 issues, but so the final issue is going to be a double sized grand finale, sending it all. And man, what a fucking cliffhanger you guys gave. I want to talk about a lot of this, but again, I won't spoil anything because I don't like when people spoil stuff for me, and I definitely don't want to spoil it for others. But I will just continue to sing your guys' praises. You are hell of a creative team. And I in the green room, I was telling Stefan just how much I adore his art. It's so good. It's the cosmic weirdness that we get when we meet when we meet Laura's progenitors. Like, did we just fucking jinx each other on progenitors? That's, dude, synced up, baby. But I mean, it was so weird, man. It reminded me a little bit of Mark Waid's Irredeemable. When like, I don't know if you guys have read that. It's basically an evil Superman story, but it gets real cosmic and real weird when we find out the Plutonian's origin story. And yours is different. Like, I'm not trying to say like grifting ideas or anything, but it just real weird and out of the box and just kind of jarring. And as a reader, it really works too, because you're right after that, we're put in this weird place, and then there's all this tension right between Daybreak and Ovens. Right? Am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ovens.
So there's a ton of tension, and people are lying to each other, and you know, the stress of having cancer and possibly dying and running out of energy and stuff has our superhero not acting very heroic, which is just another great way that you guys are pacing and controlling the tension in the narrative. It's quite flawless, and I commend you both on just doing a really, really good job. I mean, Stefan I know you can draw all day, but you know, like you both, if the art's not there, the pages aren't going to pay off, right? And if Keith's script was sucking, you know, it's just, you got to have this good balance, and you guys do. You have a great story, great characters, great dialogue, and a really great premise, and it really sticks out in the world of superhero comics. So it's very, very cool. I mean, I'm glad this campaign's doing well. You're sitting at what, like 7,800 out of a $4,400 goal. So like you got 238 backers, 15 hours to go, ladies and gentlemen. So like if you're watching this, check it out. It's a cool book. Get those back issues. I've enjoyed them. I finally bought a nudie variant. Keith suckered me into it. I bought the sexy issue 2 cover. No regrets. It was good. It was interesting.
Yeah. Keith,
I don't know what
to
to say
bunch
for
of
that.
those. I don't know what I'm gonna do with 8 copies of that variant, because I can't sell them at conventions. So,
you can.
I could, but I just don't think it would jive.
So let me give you a little tip there, buddy. As your older, wiser asshole friend. What I do is I take those little red sticky price dots,
Right.
Oh.
and then I'll put the naked cover in a bag and board, and I'll put the dots over the
On
naughty
the bag.
bits.
Yeah.
I see.
And that way I sell them at shows, and they sell. You know, people usually buy a few of them at shows. So
I can believe it.
yeah, no, you can move them. It's if you choose to or not.
Noted.
Yeah, that's what when I posted it, I put like bees over the nipples and the
Yeah, I
bottom
remember
part. But it's like a tasteful artsy nude cover though. It's not like gratuitous. And some of these books, man, and I get it. I get it's trending and people are making money on them. But you know, especially when the insides are very pornographic too. Like I know there's a market for it, but you know, some creators are like actually telling stories and talking about sex and sexuality and humanity in new and invigorating ways and using this medium to do it. And then other people is just like it's just a titty book, right? And it's what do you guys think about that, right? Like when you're struggling to get stuff funded and to be on this platform and you do have a good story and stuff, like does it get aggravating when you see like some of those campaigns make like 50, 60, 70,000? Like are you just like really like the story doesn't matter anymore, it's just TNA, like the medium's finished? I don't
Yeah, so I don't begrudge anybody anything. I mean, it makes me a little not jealous, but well, I guess maybe jealous is the word. Like why some campaigns take off like that are such a low quality book, but they have tits.
yeah.
And then the only reason that we're doing the naked covers is our backers asked us to.
Oh wow.
Like I had several backers. One I had lunch with in person who lives in Connecticut and reached out to me because I'm a man of the people. I'll fucking have lunch with everybody. But he's the first one that suggested like you guys should do nude covers. And then a couple other backers reached out and said, "Hey, did you ever think about doing a naked cover?" And so we gave it a shot in number 2, and it was good. It worked. People liked it.
Nice.
But the thing is, like, we don't want to do pornographic covers. It's not a pornographic comic.
Yeah.
I wanted to, like you said, it's supposed to be cheesecakey and fun and lively, like the book is. The book is a fun book with it's got layers, but it's a fun book to read. And I didn't want the covers. I want the covers to represent that, and not the fact that you can see someone's butthole.
Guy like a man of standards, Keith Champagne,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
you got to have the standards.
What as an artist, what do you think, Stefan? Like, I mean, do you ever think about like selling out? And we've just kind of seen the hesitancy to like sell it, like to sell them on the table, like. But like I see so many artists do like not safe for work Patreons and stuff. Oh, yeah. And like, are you all about it or
yeah? I have no beef with it. It's just not really like my brand. I mean, yeah. That type of art I have no problem with in general. I mean, I just don't want to like do too much objectification in my work. It just kind of I feel like it brings the quality of like. I don't know how to say it, but it's not for me, but I don't begrudge anyone that does anything like that. Cause the human body is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is, right? Mine isn't very much, but other people's have nice ones. But I feel like it's in comics, it's kind of already easy to get pigeonholed, right? Like you get like, you can kind of get forced in like, Keith did a lot of DC work and he's still doing superhero books. They're different, but like it's easy to kind of get pushed into a niche, right? And maybe hard to escape there, especially on places with Kickstarter where like your loyal followers kind of start to expect something. And then if you switch it up too much, they may be like, I don't know, and then that can get weird. And I feel like that's kind of the same with these sexy books, right? Because it's like, what if you do one and then you come out and do like an all ages book or something afterwards and you try and mix it up or just like people start to expect, and nerds are already unhappy all the time and just want to be mad at you guys for not making the comic books that they expect you to make, right? So it's already like a tough environment just to kind of like, I don't know. It's like you guys have noticed and like I've mentioned, it's hard to ignore those dollar signs on those campaigns. It's like, hot damn, like the people have spoken and they want that cheesecakey butthole stuff, I guess. Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. All power to you, I guess. I don't know. It's weird, but that's not really what we're here to talk about, even though there is another nude variant for issue 3 and it's probably going to be one for the double-sized issue 4, right?
Not just that, but I think I'm going to go back in time with the next campaign and do a nude variant for number 1.
Oh,
and then we'll have a set of 4 nude variants to sell as part of the next campaign, I think.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'm still playing with that idea, but I think that might be something we go with. I don't know. When you're micro publishing like this, publishing on such a small scale, like every dollar really does matter. And so, if the Naked Body brings more people into the campaign, one, great, it helps us to keep going and make our double-sized finale. Two, maybe they read the book and they're like, shit, this is really good. And they hand it to a friend and it grows the audience. So it's a win-win.
I like that. Speaking of dollar signs, we got you guys a backer already 15 minutes into the episode. Thank you so much, Ronan. We love you, bud. Awesome. I really do like this comic, and I'm not just like I've backed it. I backed it before Keith came on the show, and then I continue to back it. It's just it's a cool. I love superhero books. I love big two stuff, but everybody knows me. Like Blake's Buzz is very indie oriented, and I really do like indie cape stories because you guys usually get weird with them, right? You get like emotional, and the superheroes are more flawed and they're dealing with different things, right? Then you guys can make it more intense and raise the stakes, so you can kill somebody and not have to worry about bringing them back next month for some fucking crossover or something, right? Like the stakes are real, and the effects there are long lasting effects. When you guys are creating these superheroes, and Laura Daybreak is all powerful, similar to a Plutonian where the sun gives her power. She's like super strong. She can fly. She can do all this stuff. You guys did a really good job of like sucking out her, like drawing out her energy as this miniseries moves along, right? You really see this sickness take hold of her. Her fear changing her persona, her weakness changing her persona. You see that in the art and the way she acts and talks in the script. Was that a difficult thing to do? Because you're putting a superhero into a position that most of them don't have to deal with. They don't usually have to worry about sickness, right? They usually have to worry about whatever big bad may put them in a bad place, right? But this big bad is within her, and that's like, I feel like the way you guys did it is wonderful, but it feels like that may have been hard to execute. Was it?
From a visual standpoint or from a writing standpoint?
Both. Yeah, you can both hit it.
Keith, you go first.
I think the way I like to look at the superheroes is that even though Daybreak has a lot of superpowers, she still is a person on the inside, and a person in that situation when they have cancer. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to represent some of the stages that people go through when they have this disease. They kind of coming to terms with it, the fear that comes with it, et cetera, while also combining that, like, if a superhero has cancer, how is it going to affect your powers? Well, it's going to drain them, especially if you're made of light, basically. It's going to affect your power levels and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's hard, and I'm glad that you like what we've done so far, but there definitely is a lot of thought put into it as to what the next stage of the journey is going to be. And this thing is going to take a big U-turn in the finale that I don't think a lot of people are going to see coming, because when the superhero has cancer, maybe it's a little different than when a regular person has cancer. Maybe that cancer maybe that cancer has its own powers. Who the fuck knows? We'll find out.
You kind of mentioned that too in some of the dialogue in this new one about how, like, this cancer isn't a human cancer or even an earth-based cancer, right? So you've sprinkled that breadcrumb for us to follow already, which was really exciting. But yeah, Stefan, like I see that in the art too, like how she slows down, she grows fatigued, and you see her, you see it in her face, you see it in her eyes, especially like in the new issue when she's on the when she's on the table in the Moon hospital room, and it's just, she's very, very vulnerable. And a lot of artists, I feel like a lot of artists can like nail real big action and then kind of stutter on like the vulnerable emotional beats. Vice versa. Some people don't get the hang of the big action set pieces, but can really focus in on those real human moments and bring those to life. You do both of them very, very well. it really makes for it really makes for a special issue, a special series, like, I think. And what's your strong point? What's your weakness in art? Like, what's hard for you in this book?
Good question.
I mean, art can never be easy.
What an artist thing to fucking say. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
If it's easy, then you're just, you're not trying. But yeah, I don't know. I would say that, like, my weakness is probably sometimes I do go a little easy on myself. So things don't always end up the way I want them to, but I'm on a timeline. So
yeah,
there's only so much you can do. But yeah, no, I spend a lot of time just thinking about storytelling. So it's the thing that I focus on the most.
Nice.
And also, my favorite thing about your work is your storytelling.
Thanks, Ben.
I love the way that you take my scripts and not to blow smoke up your ass, but I have a pretty clear mental picture of things that when I write a script. I usually will break it down on paper as I'm writing, my own thumbnails to help me visualize everything. And then you mix it through your imagination and it comes back, 10 times better than what I thought of. You always challenge the script in different ways, but in ways that improve the story that I'm trying to tell. It's a great collaboration. I'll work with this kid forever because he's one of my favorites.
Nice. I was kind of wondering what it would be like to be an artist with you, Keith, because you can draw yourself, and like, and I kind of wondered if that made you more critical of your with your co-collaborators or easier to work with because the bullshit that these guys have to deal with and how intense deadlines are and how hard and arduous like making an actual comic page is. Like, Stefan, are his scripts real tight, or does he give you like a lot of room to play around? Like, what's it like going off his scripts?
He doesn't give me like panel layouts, but I know how many have to be in there, and I then decide if that's what I'm going to do or not. But yeah, no, they're pretty tight. They're not like Alan Moore level of description, but it's enough that I have enough artistic freedom to have a lot of fun with it.
Nice. Keith, I'm sorry you're not Alan Moore. I was almost a good. I thought a good compliment was going to come out of that, but no, it's just pure honesty. Like, he's a good guy. He's not Alan Moore, but he's not a piece of shit either. It's right in between piece of shit and Alan Moore, that healthy medium.
That's perfect for me. Now, my whole point of view is I write full script for myself.
Okay.
I get the story down on paper the way I see it in my head. But then what I want is someone like my man here who just takes the script and changes it, tells the story in his way, reinterprets it. Because then I'm not working with a robot.
Yeah.
Like I've already written the script the way I want it, but I like to see someone think as they draw the script, and it's great. Like Stefan, I don't know how you say it. Fuck you, kid. Stefan. In issue number 2, in the beginning of the script, I told this story on another podcast. I had called for Daybreak to save these 3 billionaires, which were based on Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and I think Bill Gates. And he shot me a text. He's like, I don't want to draw these assholes. So I was like, okay, just, do what you want. I don't care. And so he made it into supervillains instead. And that kind of inspired like the whole, multiversal villains visiting this Earth while Doc Matter was in jail thing. And it just made the book better.
Nice.
And that's what I like. It's like 2 imaginations are so much better than one, especially when they're in sync and both just trying to tell a good story.
Well, cool. I like that. See that, Stefan, that's how you compliment your collaborator. I'm just kidding.
I am a writer, so.
Speaking of writing, your last couple of campaign updates, are those Chat GPT, the AI, are you really using AI for some of those parts, or are you just joking around in the campaign pages?
Well, I did use Chat GPT to write a chunk of the stuff on the page, on the Kickstarter page. Yeah, just to have fun. I've built several pages now, and I'm trying to do it different and make it a little interesting every time. So I just wanted to see what would happen.
Do you have to go back in and make what I've noticed? I've played with it a little bit, and it can cut down the workflow for a lot of stuff. And it's real interesting how you can like continue to talk to it and have it like edit after the fact, but you still kind of got to go through. Cause like what I've noticed is like, it'll, it kept saying captivating, like in this like 1-page deal I generated, it said captivating like 8 times. And I was like, you fucking need to know more words, computer. Like, and then so you kind of have to like go back and edit it. But yeah, it's I just like seeing that there. It made me laugh. It's come a long way from those like old joke memes, right? Where they're like, I made this computer write a Batman script after uploading like 100 scripts to it or something. And then like, it's so stupid and asinine. But also kind of funny that you're doing everybody's got an opinion about AI, right? Especially on the art front. The writing front, I feel like people are a little more, they don't hate it as much yet, maybe. Which is weird, because I mean, I get like if it's aggregating art and not asking permission, it's got to be doing the same like on the internet with blogs and writing. And, like I'm just imagining like this thing like is probably reading everybody's Substack. It's reading everybody's free newsletter. It's reading everybody's tweets, and it's learning to write like some of these better writers. Maybe did you guys get any blowback from that, or anybody like, I can't, you fucking use an AI on your Kickstarter, you villain?
No, as for it, it's like as a bit, it didn't write the script.
Yeah,
it's a joke. So it's like, I don't know. That stuff's like good if you're trying to fix your grammar, but it can't really write your story for you.
Definitely.
If you let it, it's gonna be bad.
Have you guys thought about trying that, like doing a AI scripted like couple daylight pages just to see how terrible it can be? Like,
I haven't, but I don't write the script, so
Keith's like, shut up, Blake. Giving away all my secrets. No.
Maybe I'll try it now. I don't know. No, I don't think, from my playing around with Chat GPT and also Google's Bard, it's very limited.
Yeah.
So I don't think it has. I find that it can't do anything long form, like it loses track of what is written earlier in a script or in a story.
So it's like me talk, because when I start talking, I forget what I was like originally saying all the time, and it always happens live. It never fails. Like I'll be telling a story, and then the story gets a side story, and then I finish the side story, and I'm like, oh fuck, where was I going?
Yeah.
I'm artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. I am not real. It's fine.
Well, at least you're intelligent. I mean, artificial or not.
Well, that's up for debate, maybe. But no. But yeah, it's an interesting technology, and it does make your campaign page stand out. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, that's just fucking different. And you got to be different. You got to find ways to stand out and defeat the real villain, which are these various algorithms that just want to make all our lives absolutely terrible as content creators, right? Like this thing that we never thought we'd have to battle before, right? Like we grew up and saw Superman fight Doomsday. We see fucking Daybreak fighting cancer. We see, we've seen the Power Rangers take on, whatever, all these things, right? And what's the real problem now is some computer algorithm that wants to like hide our content and play the decider of like what gets seen and what remains unseen. It's so weird. I've been thinking about a comic, like Keith knows I have another comic book idea about a cocaine type superhero that we talked about one time. Cause I always got to talk about cocaine for some reason. Cause I miss it. No, I hate the stuff. I love the way it smells. No, I used to be a bouncer in a bar and I did a lot of stupid shit, and I don't work in that bar anymore. And I quit doing a lot of that stupid shit. Right. So I feel like, because I was strong enough to quit that stupid shit, I get to talk about it now. I get to tell weird stories. But yeah, it is funny how I talked to Stefan. I talked to Ron Mars about cocaine, and people were like, What the fuck, Blake? I have a pull quote on the back of Monster Matador, and I still can't believe this is a pull quote he picked. But he's like, it's like Blake's Buzz. This comic book's like bullfighting on a great 8 ball of cocaine, and he like put that on the back of his book. So it's just like, man, I'm just like the cocaine guy. I don't even do blow. You can't, why you can't do blow and buy a bunch of comic books unless you're just. My dad doesn't own like a boat dealership, right? So like my funds are limited. Anyways, but yeah, it's we were joking around about that because in one of Keith's comics, there's this villain he's like made of cocaine, kind of, Keith, or he's like sort of like that.
Yeah, he's made of radioactive cocaine. He was kind of like a Homer Simpson working in a plant, and he got ripped on cocaine one day at work, and it led to a meltdown. And so
as it does.
Everyone else died, but he became radioactive cocaine. A character named Snow.
Yeah,
started in the Switch, and then we used him in the second issue of Daybreak, just as a little crossover. And the point of that was to show that Daybreak is immune to drugs, like nothing can affect her. So, like if she wanted to get chemotherapy or something,
it wouldn't work. Yeah,
for cancer, it wouldn't have any effect. So that was the point of it.
Look at the layers and Keith's script, ladies and gentlemen. This dude knows what he's doing. Maybe
I am Alan Moore. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling that. You just need the beard and the gruffy attitude. Get a little meaner.
All right.
And then you have to grow to hate all the comic books that were ever mass produced that were made by you. So you have to like.
I kind of do already. So.
Are you still working on I saw they're putting out new Stranger Things stuff. Are you still working on those over at Dark Horse?
No, not lately. Like I had a series lined up and then it was delayed. And now I've seen other books come out, but the one I'm supposed to be doing has not come back into my life yet. So I imagine it will eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those. I like those books. I didn't know when we first started talking because I knew he worked on like some JSA stuff with Johns, and like I knew he did some cool DC stuff, and then I noticed that I bought the first library edition of Stranger Things and saw your name on it like after we had done an interview, and I was like, oh shit, I wish I knew about that when I talked to him. And then I bring it up, and he's like, yeah, books in limbo. Thanks, Blake. Really wanted to talk about that.
No, it's funny that first Stranger Things series. I don't think I've ever admitted this out loud, but like, it was much like when I wrote the Ghostbusters book for IDW a while back. I just didn't give a fuck about it. And so I remember doing the Stranger Things pages in the first series, like 2-3 hours a page, and like working it around the other stuff I was doing for DC at the time. And then in hindsight, like Stranger Things has been such a huge boost to my career, especially to my royalties that I get. That if I could go back in time, I would give it all the and maybe put the DC stuff a little bit of lesser importance.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah.
I guess we should probably. I apologize. I didn't realize time flies when you're talking to cool people. We've already been chatting for 30 minutes, and I haven't brought up the campaign page, so I'm going to post a link for everybody to follow, so you can go check this out. And then I'm going to click this little guy here. This is the Daybreak Kickstarter campaign. As you can see, 15 hours to go. Almost 240 backers. Let's get one more. Come on. It was at 238 when we started. We get one more. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe by tonight, maybe by tomorrow, or within 15 hours. I guess it'll be tomorrow in 15 hours. We can do that. Look at that goal. The $7,800. Let's go down here and look at some stuff. She's back, baby. The penultimate issue 3. I love this cover, by the way. It's a great cover.
Thanks, man.
You don't see a lot of green covers, it really
right.
pops, I think, with that color choice.
Yeah. The green and the yellow, and yeah, it really works. I love it. And then so yeah, Keith Steele's new Pain Productions. They're bringing this. They got some cool variants. Here's a really old computer. This is why everybody loves coming on my show, Stefan. Keith says it's his favorite. I don't know why. It's but yeah, here's where we have like the Chat GPT kind of break it down. And then okay, yeah. So here's some of the variants. I can't get it all on the screen at once. But yeah, just some great looking covers. An almost not safe for work cover, but it's safe. I like it. I like her. Like, I like these cosmic covers. That was another reason why I like the nudie covers, because she's in space and all the stars behind her, and it's like I don't know. It's just very intimate. It's cool. And then here's some of this art. God, this art is so good.
Isn't he good?
Like, it's insane, dude. Like, it shocks me that like you should be on more books. I feel like what the
So
fuck
much
is wrong?
personality. Like everything he
Right?
draws has so much personality.
Yeah. Again, and like like the way that these characters emote and express, and that is very important in this book. There's a lot of great action, but there's a lot of intense emotions too, and you have to see that to really feel that on the characters. And Stefan does that wonderfully. I mean, even this monkey, like I'm feeling him. Like I'm feeling the worry, the fright, the tense, like the intensity. It's just like whether human or inhuman, it always comes through. Just like the violence and the heaviness of some of these panels, just the way he's got a mask on, but the way his mouth is forming, and it's kind of a little grotesque, a little unnerving. And as like a reader, it makes you like slightly uncomfortable when you need to, and you almost, he's kind of fucking scary like this. And that's what you want in a villain, right? You don't want to trust him, even when, this issue toys with that, right? Is like, maybe, the more we learn about our two main characters, and like, are they both bad? Is there some goodness left around? No, this dude's a bad motherfucker, and I just love, he's a great villain.
Thanks, man. I spent a weird amount of time figuring out how to give him like a recognizable mouth.
Really?
Because like it's the only part of his face you see under the mask besides his like insane giant eyes.
Yeah.
So in every panel he has like a huge gap in the middle and giant canines, which is like it's like just a weird thing to give a character, but I think it really like makes his face like stand out in a weird way, where you can see it under any mask. If that part's exposed, you know exactly who it is.
I also like the fact that when he's not in his costume, he looks like a complete dweeb.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you put him in a costume and suddenly he's a galactic badass,
Yeah.
In issue 1, you can see the suit cut up on the floor in one panel, and it's like clearly bulked up. Like he's wearing he's like
like the Shazam suit. Like those aren't real muscles. We all fucking know those aren't real muscles.
Yeah,
it's
you can see. Go ahead.
It's like Jim Stranko's convention suit with the padded chest and the shoulders. And
I got to see that firsthand in March. It was amazing.
Is that real? He does that for real?
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy's like 90 or 88 or whatever. So he's always been a little smoke and mirror. He's charming, but I hate his politics. But he's a very charming guy.
He's a shit. Supposedly he doesn't like. He's a short guy. He's shorter than you think. And he doesn't let people take pictures of him because of that. So like he doesn't do like selfies with fans a lot or anything. Like he's real weird about photos. But he does. You got one with him? Well, shit.
Yeah, I took one with him.
Maybe he just didn't like me. Maybe he just saw me at Planet Comic Con and was like, "Fuck you, buddy."
Maybe you're too tall.
He and I were con neighbors at a show in Connecticut 5 or 6 years ago. So we got to know each other over the weekend, and took a selfie with me. And he's a super nice guy in person. But then on Twitter, I think he's a troll.
Yeah, it was a bummer. I used to, he's a icon of the industry. He's had done a lot of great stuff, and that like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a really awesome, like, old Marvel spy comic, and paved the way for a lot of cool stuff going forward. And yeah, it's a bummer when you get to see people in the under the real light, right? They say like don't meet your heroes. For that, because sometimes when you get to know people, you're just like, oh, like, it's like, I wish I just knew you as like Ryder Steranko, not MAGA fanatic Steranko. But whatever. He still made some cool comics, and yeah, he's not like, I didn't think he was like mean or anything, but he does his like silver suit, like his shoulders look abnormally large. And I remember because I was in line for Kevin Eastman, and he popped over to say hey to Kevin, and I was just like, and he's wearing his sunglasses inside, and his hair's all gelled up, and he's got this like bright shiny silver suit on, and and his shoulders were just like, just like I was like, anyway. Cons are fun. Yeah, anyways, Daylight is also fun. It's a great book. That's what we're here to talk about. Here's another great cover. And then here's some cool art. I loved the way this issue kicked off. This new backstory, this kind of like this origin story we get in the third issue. That was I dug that. I really liked how much information we got in this new issue and how it changed the narrative, like what we've read before and what we're about to read going forward. Again, another kind of wrench you guys threw in the gears to like origin stories typically start at the beginning, right? Like what made you want to go that route? What made you want to kind of like hold off all this critical information until the penultimate issue?
Well, I mean, structurally, I like to, when I do a first issue, I want it to always feel familiar in a way. Like, here's a world, and it feels nice and comfortable to me, and it feels like something that I'm going to enjoy because it's similar to things I've read before.
Mm-hmm.
But then every issue after that, I like to try to peel the onion back and keep inserting more layers to the story, and just make it a deeper reading experience as we go. So here we're starting issue 3. We're 4 million years in the past in another galaxy. We see the progenitors of Daybreak and Dark Matter. And we're starting to hint that there's an even bigger story coming down the pike after this series, if Daybreak lives, which I'm not even sure if she's going to live yet, and I'm still not decided on the
no shit yet. Really? That's crazy.
I wrote it that she lives, but then I've been second guessing it a lot. So I've also written an ending where she does not live. Yeah, I don't know. We have some time to figure it out. So.
Yeah, you got time. But, that's cool though. Like I like that. I like how up in the air that is. That's exciting.
I don't know what feels most organic and most right for the character yet. But assuming if she does live, there's a bigger story to tell. And if she does die, maybe there's another way to tell that story. I don't know. Let's get through this series first.
So there's maybe a possibility, like after the double-sized finale, this may come back in one form or another, possibly, maybe. Like it may not be the end.
I would hope to tell stories with these characters, continue, with whoever lives, whoever dies. There's ways to tell stories of people that die too.
Yeah.
But
you're establishing this wider universe, like you did with the Switch. Like we've got some crossovers with so like you have a wide berth of both heroes and villains that you could do like one shot stuff like that. So I like this world that you've established that you can kind of
I haven't really talked to Stefan about this yet, more than a brief mention, and also to Tom Meehan from the Switch. But I would like to do, if Daybreak lives, I would like to do a Daybreak Switch crossover with the two main characters.
Ooh.
And have, one chapter drawn by Stefan, the Daybreak chapter, and one chapter drawn by Tom, the Switch chapter, and officially combine the two worlds.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then go off from there. And something else, we'll see. I have a lot of thoughts in my head, but not a lot of ideas of which ones are the best thoughts yet.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Most of them are not good, but I do have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Shout out to my co-host Cole. Blake and Cole read a book Tuesday nights. Love you too, Buzz baby. I said love you too. He didn't say he loved me in the chat. I was going through that in there. Anyways, but yeah. So Stefan, these opening pages very very different stylistically from your other stuff. I feel like this was real fun for you. I feel like you got to like crank it up to 11 and get real cosmic and real weird and have fun at the beginning of this. Like, is that how it was? I think he froze.
He looks frozen to me.
My question was so good it fucking stopped time and space.
Well, I'll answer for him while he comes back on. I'll try to answer for him. I think he enjoyed the change of pace a little bit. I love his color choices on this double page spread.
Yeah, this page is beautiful.
Yeah, and like
lettering, the lettering in these opening pages is great too. Like the bubble styles and the colors and the text, like everything's top notch, dude.
Oh, thank you, man. I enjoy lettering quite a bit. But yeah, like he sent me a text with this page. It's like, what do you think of the colors on this thing? And I was like, wow, it's crazy, dude. It's like it feels very alien to me, which is kind of the look that I wanted. Like this is an alien galaxy this is take place in. So it was some bold color choice that really paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. So you're lettering all this, Keith?
Yeah.
Man, you're good.
Yeah, well, thanks, dude. Yeah, I like lettering a lot. It's very relaxing for me, and I also find that it really forces me to keep honing my dialogue.
Yeah. I've heard that when writers letter as well. Like it adds like a whole different element to the editing and writing process, because you're like you're having to think about this text so much differently, and then thinking about the space that you accumulate on the page too, right? So like, you know, there's a lot of like condensing and rewriting, and when you're the letterer, you can do that, and you're not having to like send rewrites to some fucking poor dude who's having to deal with your bullshit, right? Like you just do it. But yeah, it's we got Stefan's back. We figured it out. What's up?
Boom.
Yeah,
my internet just went away. I don't know.
No worries, man. Things happen. That's what's fun about doing live shows, dude. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen. I remember one of my early podcast episodes when I like was really I'm not like the fastest editor, nor do I do a lot of editing, but when I was learning to edit, and I did this early podcast episode, I interviewed this writer and an artist, and the writer's internet messed up a few times, and then like Zoom is weird. I used to use Zoom and I hate it. That's why I switched to StreamYard. But like we had to end up like in the middle of this, it wasn't live, but we had to like make a new Zoom chat room and bring everybody back in. And then I had to go in and like clip all these parts and like restitch them together. So it felt organic when like the dude vanished and quit talking and came back in. And I remember I had to work. It was in the middle of the week. I used to release podcasts every Wednesday, and I had to work at 10 a.m. because I used to work 10 to 7. And I was up until 5 editing this fucking episode, like stitching these little pieces of stuff so I could get the episode out on Wednesday. And it just took me so long. And it was like so hard to like figure out and to get like, you know, to get things to not sound choppy and organic. That's why I don't do that shit anymore. But yeah, totally. But yeah, it's things happen, and that's not a big deal at all. You're back. That's all that matters. But yeah, we were talking about how great and weird these opening pages are, and just how like stylistically different it is from the rest of the book. And Keith was just saying how like impressed he was when you showed off like this new color palette and you know these crazy pages, and he was so into it. What was your thought process going in here? Like, were you like, it's time to get off the rails and just go crazy? Like, cause it's so different than the rest of the artwork in the book.
Well, for this section, I think Keith told me explicitly not to do like Jack Kirby thing. So I was like, well, what if I did it in a Jack Kirby thing in a very different way? Because like without using just like a different methodology of like aping some of his weird shape patterns. I don't know why that was what I decided to do, but yeah, just like the bizarre psychedelic nature I wanted to bring in to just make it really different from the rest of the book, because it's the past, it's a flashback, so I want you to be able to tell. The other flashbacks in the book have their own color palettes as well.
Yeah, I like the grain that you overlay on these pages too. It gives it like a even like an older, almost like an older like newspaper feel, like comics of old, right? And that comes through digitally, which I thought was really cool. Like it doesn't feel like paper because I'm reading it on a tablet as class, but it looks like it, and it's got like a little bit of kind of like that dot matrix vibe. It's just really cool. I know I repeat myself a lot, but I usually feel like you guys don't care when I'm repeating about how just fucking cool this book is. And like Keith sent me Keith was like, I asked Keith for the digital issues so I could reread, so that I didn't have to like go through the clusterfuck of my comic collection and like find the old issues. And Keith was like, oh yeah, and here's the 3rd issue. And he was like, if you don't like it, maybe we just won't talk about that. And I kind of laughed. I was like, why am I not going to like it? And not only that, this was probably my favorite of the 3 issues. Like, I think this is my favorite by far of the three that are out. Like this is a really great moment. Everything that's been building is starting to happen. So many questions are answered. So many new questions arise. Like I said, there's a great cliffhanger, and now like you guys have both like I question the sanity of someone who backs this third issue, gets it, reads it, and is like, I'm not going to get that double-sized finale. It's not for me. Like, I feel like there's no way. There's no way. Like, this was a really, really strong, polished, absolutely gorgeous issue. And I'm so excited for the finale now. Like, even more so. Like, I was already excited. Now I'm like double excited. Now I'm, pun intended, buzzing over it, baby. Like,
that's right. I've already started drawing the 4th issue, and by started, I mean I drew 1 page of it so far. But,
how long do you spend on a page typically, Stefan?
1 day.
Okay.
Drawing it. Yeah. That's usually my rule. Otherwise, I'll just never get it done because I have to move on. Otherwise,
yeah,
I'll just destroy myself doing it until it's perfect. So I just
try. Oh, sorry.
I said I just try to get it right the first time. So, but it doesn't always work out. So sometimes I do spend more than a day on a page. But
when you color the stuff, buddy, how many pages will you go through in a day to color?
5.
Wow.
5 a day.
Yeah.
Your colors are so good. I almost feel like that sounds like a lot of work in a day. I just feel like your color work is so strong. Like I almost thought that like that would take even a longer time. Maybe not a longer time, but just like 5 in a day just seems like you're cruising. It's so good. Like,
well, I kind of have like a process that I work through that makes it so that I'm able to do it at that speed. All the shading I do is baked into the line art so that when I have a flatter, Tiago does it for me. And so he just puts in basically color books it. And then I just pick the colors, slap them in, and then do have my shades and gradients over top already built into my drawing. So it multiplies over it and creates all the depth and shadow. And then I do tweak it after that. But it's basically a system that allows me to do it at like an accelerated speed and get the look that I like.
Well, hey man, it doesn't look accelerated. It looks like you're fucking.
Oh, it took me a long time to figure it out. So.
Well, yeah, it works smarter, not harder, right? So obviously the way you're talking, you're coloring digitally. Your line work, you doing that digitally as well?
Yeah, I am. And we only do pages when we wanted to be part of the Kickstarter. So we've done a couple of those.
Okay.
Yeah, and Keith inks them for me. Keith inked this page here too as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keith's just fucking good at everything, man. He pisses me off. He's really cool. He's good looking. He's fucking making comics. He's fucking worked at like DC during this iconic time, writing Stranger Things comics. He doesn't even give a shit about. No, I'm sorry. You said it. You said it first.
No, you're right.
But they still look good. Like it's not like those comics are ugly or lame. Like I like no regrets buying that first library edition. Now I want the rest of them. Like I like it. Hey, by the way, your buddy, Mr. Michael Katz is up in here. By the way, Michael, I know ask Keith. I'm doing real great at responding to emails lately, but I got you in June, baby. We'll get you on the show. No worries. Yeah, agree, dude. Great art. Renaissance Keith. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. I like that guy a lot.
I love Mike. Mike is good people. Another guy who's just like out here making damn good comics. If people, like if he can't get a publisher, fuck him. Like I'll make them myself. I love that attitude. Like seriously.
You don't need a publisher anymore.
You don't. That's true.
And people ask me all the time at shows because I worked for the Big Two for so long. How do I get into the Big Two? And I'm like, why do you want to? I spent 30 years at the Big Two just to get to where I am now doing this.
Wow.
Like this is, everyone I think has a dream like, oh, I want to draw Spider-Man or I want to draw Wonder Woman or whatever. But
yeah,
if you need to scratch that itch. But all the best comics, all the most creative books are in the indie comic space.
Yeah, totally.
And Kickstarter has democratized the publishing process, where if you have a little bit of a following or you have a couple of loyal friends and family, you don't need to pitch something to Boom or DC or IDW anymore. Like, why do you want to give them a share of the IP, first of all, in this age of the comic book movie? And second of all, why do you want to wait 9 months for some jack off at Boom to read your pitch and say, no, I can't do it? Because that's 9 months you can't make a living off your idea.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it yourself.
I love you. That's such a good creator thing to say. Just fucking do it yourself. Yeah, I used to get mad when people would bring up, a lot of times when people ask, like, how do I get into comics? How do I start making comics? And the go-to answer is you make the comics. And a lot of people, it makes sense. I get it, but it's also very vague. Cause like, okay, I can't fucking draw. How do I get into comics if I can't fucking draw? There's other elements to it, but that statement is still very real. Like, write the fucking script. Like, quit thinking about it. Write the script. When your script's done, start looking at artists, right? Start asking about page rates. I just found a new Facebook group on YouTube, like writers and artists, like come like a big. There's thousands and thousands of people in there, and these artists. Man, I was looking at really great art samples of people posting, and it was like line work was some people's line work like $50 a page or something, and then if you want it like colored and everything, like $80 a page, and like which and that gets expensive, right? When you're thinking about like a 22 to 25, or when you go on Kickstarter, you can get weird. You can go 27 pages, you can go 30, you can do a double-sized finale and put Stefan through hell and through the gauntlet. Like I feel like that's going to be an intense 40 pages for this guy to go. Like that's 40 days. Are you ready for it, dude? Are you
43
yeah.
days left.
43 days left.
I did draw the last issue of Silver Streak in 22 days. So like just to see if I could.
And then real quick, like here's the nude variant, by the way, which as Keith was talking about earlier, you just put the little stickers over the good bits, and then you can put that on your table and make $1 million. I like you guys are doing an artist edition, super cool. Here's where we talk about the characters. You guys do all this in-house, the design work, or do you guys hire anybody to do your Kickstarter page design, or are you doing all this yourself?
It's all me.
Hey, motherfucker, man. That's because one of the places I work at right now, Metal Ninja Studios, one of their deals is like we do all of Merc Publishing's like Kickstarter design pages, and like it's a lot of work because Merc does like 50 variants for like one issue, and they get a lot of great art and they make cool comics, but like designing that like on a Kickstarter page where there's so many variants and so many add-ons and like making it clear and cohesive and just like all the graphics and everything, it's a lot of work. And that's why we kind of can come in and be like, hey, we can do this for you if you don't want to. But yeah, just doing all this yourself, man. It's a beautiful Kickstarter page. Everything's really organized. The reward tiers are very organized. It's easy to follow. There's these cool trading cards you can get. Here's where we're kind of talking about like add-ons and stuff. Got a cool t-shirt. You can get the previous issues. Here's you can get like, this is like the big New Pain bundle, right?
Yep.
I haven't read Microscopic, but I remember that campaign coming out and thinking it looked really cool. It's a lot of times I see cool shit and I don't have money to back it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one didn't make enough money to continue it right now.
Oh, it did. Oh, shit.
We managed to publish the book, but not enough to really make it worthwhile to keep going. But maybe there's a way to revisit that.
Man, I'm never gonna grow. I am the guy, right? That like we'll meet for lunch or something. I'll be like, oh, what's up, dude? How's the girlfriend? Like, oh, we broke up a month ago. And I'll be, oh, well, I haven't talked to your dad. Why your dad doing okay? Dad died last week. I'm that guy. I say something. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then you're like, yeah, that one didn't fund and cost us a bunch of money, and that really put me in a dark place. I'm just like, I can't. Everything I say ruins everything, which is weird for a podcaster to say. I don't know. No, I don't ruin everything. I just ruin some things. But yeah, anyway, Lots of really cool stuff. You can even get some awesome original art, which is beautiful. Like, look at this line work. Just the black and white line work is just fucking jaw dropping. That's some Daryl Banks action too. That's why it's so damn good. That Daryl guy.
Yeah.
But look at this. Look at this line work. Like, that's gorgeous. I would read your comics in black and white, Stefan, and I love your colors. But like,
thanks, man.
Because we're seeing more of this too. We're seeing more black and white stuff people are doing to save money on Kickstarter lately.
Well, I mean, that's mainly the reason why we do the artist editions. I want people to see Stefan's black and white and toned work, because it's so intricate, the amount of work and detail he puts into it. So if people dig that stuff, we give them that option too.
I used to really not like black and white art. So do you remember like the old X-Men or the old Marvel like essentials? And they were they were real cheap, but they were like black and white and like very similar to what their Epic collections now, just not colored. I remember getting one of like X-Men. I ordered it on eBay and I got it for like really cheap, and it showed up and it was all black. And I was like, fuck this, man. I was like, I'm so mad. And it's funny, like now, this is like before I was into like being a reviewer or podcast or anything, but like now I nerd out on stuff like that. And I'm really into manga these days. Right. And like, and manga's all black and white and just like great line work and cinematic, like a fast moving cinematic experience. It's like, it's funny how things change. Like I used to think variants were dumb. I used to think Funko Pops were dumb. Guess what I spend a lot of money on? Variants and Funko Pops now, right? It's like, in Dare, I thought cocaine was bad. Guess what I spent a lot of money on in my 20s? I always got to bring it back. That's the sign of a great host, is to bring the conversation full circle. Unfortunately, my circle is fucked up. And so when I bring things back, it may not be the thing you wanted to come back to. But yeah, anyway, just a really great Kickstarter page. Look how sexy Stefan is when he draws himself. Like, I mean, it's not like you're not sexy now. You're good. You're both good looking dudes, right? It's like pretty people make better comics. We know this. Like, it's a fact.
That's it. Is that true? I've never heard that before.
I don't know, man. I just, I said it. I'm Comic Books Press, and I get to vote for the Eisners. So what I say means I really do though. Yeah, it's not, I'm not special. You just fill out a fucking form. But yeah, anyways, like I just great page. Great covers, good prices. Look at that $5 digital. Boom, done. Like that's an easy peasy price, ladies and gentlemen. Easy price to admission. And then you can get like the digital plus. I like how we get these. I like how we get pictures now on the tiers. We can like, because that was like a new update for them not long ago. But yeah, like $10 for cover 3A. And then the artist edition. The $15 for 3 awesome comics. It's like 70 something pages, maybe 80 around there. That's a lot of comic for $15.
Yeah, 70.
And then then you got the variants. What is this? I missed this. This canceled. What is this, Keith?
Long story short, a handful of years ago, I wrote a project called Joker Year One for DC. Doug Monkey, the great Doug Monkey, my brother drew most of the book. Was pulled off by Dan DiDio before he could finish it. They wanted them to do something else, and they never let Doug come back and finish it. So a couple months ago, I contacted DC. Doug and I were talking. We're like, let's try to get it going in time for the Joker movie this time. Maybe we can finally finish it and get it out there. And almost got it resuscitated and was able to finish it, but DC finally said, no, we're just not going to do it. So kind of burned my ass a little bit.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. And I decided, well, I got the script. The least I can do is I'll sell the script at conventions. So I have the script, printed and bound up and made a nice cover for it and everything, yada, yada. And then a friend of mine was like, why don't you offer it on the Kickstarter page as like a special reward? Like maybe some comic fans would like to see this untold Joker story. So we did. So it's available digital. It's a 124 page script available digitally. I think they've already sold out of the print copies that I listed. But it's got artwork by Doug and Christian Alamy in there, and it's a full script for this book that's never going to come out, which is a shame because it would have made DC money forever, like literally forever.
Do you think like if at the end of the campaign, like if enough people like selected that, could you like show that to DC and be like, hey, remember when I proved you guys wrong and you should still make this comic? Or is it like, is that just not even an option?
I don't think there's much point at this time. I think they kind of definitively said, hey, we're just not going to do it. Well,
that sucks, man.
Yeah. Well, they have different plans for the Joker now, I guess, and it wouldn't fit. But I don't know. To me, it's short-sighted, but what do I know? I'm just a monkey making comics.
Making comics on the moon. Well, no, that's that sucks, man. That's a bummer. Because you did a lot of work at DC. You gave them a lot of your time. That's sad. Yet again, I bring up a topic that you didn't really want to talk about.
No, it's fine. I don't have any hard feelings towards DC, really. Like,
nice.
I don't agree with them on this one.
Yeah.
But most of the people that have fucked me over at DC over the years aren't there anymore anyway. So it's just they've shaken stuff up for sure. It's been a weird road for them as well. Comics are just fucking weird right now, right, guys? Like, I mean, like bankruptcy filing and like, you know, recently, like, you know, like I'd never thought like I'd see like IDW do what they recently did. You know, like they have all these big IPs, right? Like you think like the millions and millions of dollars like Ninja Turtles bring in, right? You would think about like you would think people making Ninja Turtle comics wouldn't be having money problems. Yeah, it's just indie comics are a scary place, which is why more people are coming to Kickstarter. Even publishers are going to Kickstarter. You know, Boom goes to Kickstarter now for their big hardcover fancy releases and stuff, and prints fucking money. And you know, like whatever, good for them. Like I think it legitimizes the platform. I'm not one of those people that says like this is indie comics and this isn't. I'm not a gatekeeper. I understand both sides. I'm not trying to there's good people on both sides. I'm not trying to be that, but that's a pretty good impression. Maybe I should quit all this and just do impressions. Anyway, Stefan, this is what I was talking about, man. Keith says he likes coming on my show. I don't believe him because I'm a mess. I had Robert Venditti was on Monday, and he did not know how to deal with me. Him and Brock McKinney were on, and we were like, Brock and I were having fun and joking around. And at one point, Robert Venditti was like, "I just want everybody to know that I haven't said the F word one time." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I was joking around about this deal, and I love the phrase when someone puts their dick on the table, right? I'd never heard that phrase before, and one of my ex-girlfriends, my boss at the bar, was mad at us. She was a server at this, like we started dating, we worked together. And this guy George was going off about shit, and George was a mess. Like we'd all stay after the bar like till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd go back to his house, fucking party, drink till 8 o'clock in the morning, sleep all day, go back to work at 6 or 7 at night, do it all over again. And George was like getting mad, and my ex-girlfriend was like, "That's just George putting his dick on the table," and I was like, "What?" And I'd like never heard that expression before. And so Dark Horse sent me an early release of Robert's new comic, and Robert noticed that the second half of it was lettered incorrectly. And he sent an email, and it was a very professional, amicable email. And he was just like, "Hey guys, like I noticed this had some mistakes. Can we get Blake like a good copy for the show? Thanks." And on the show, I blew that way out of proportion, and I was just like I just like how Robert Venditti stood up for me and put his dick on the table and was like, "Get the man the right fucking," and Robert Venditti was like, "I didn't say that." And I was but at the end of it, like Robert was like, "Blake, I'd love to come back on your show." So I was like, "Okay, cool." But he definitely he straight up told me, he's like, "Blake, I've never done an interview like this." And I was like, "Good." You know, I like to think I tell, you know, we talk about the comic, right? Like I read the comic, which I found out that a lot of these little podcaster fuckos don't do.
You know, like they like won't even read the book. So, you know, I get prepped, but I also like to get weird and joke and laugh and talk a little bit about life and let the conversation spiral into some weird places. You know, I think that makes for some entertaining dialogue, right? So, you know, we'll just try and keep it fun. But you know, that's my thoughts. I could be wrong. I'm obviously biased. It's Blake's Buzz. But yeah, it's it is always like Keith. I love having you on the show, man, and I'm so glad I was able to squeeze you in, and I really do apologize like about being bad at emails and things just got real busy real fast, and I did have to cut back on interviews, but you've always been real good to me and just good people, and I love your comics, and so I'm glad we got to make this happen. And Stefan, I'm real glad you got to come hang out too, man. Cause like I said, your art blows me away, and you're real cool. And, you know, like you got a cool name and stuff too. Like, you know, you're just like, you got you're all there, man. You kind of look like, what is his name? The lead singer from Soundgarden. You kind of look like him.
Chris Cornell.
You kind of look like Chris Cornell. Yeah. A little bit.
I heard he was really tall. Is that true?
I don't know. I know he's dead.
I
thought that's where you were going. I was like, I heard he's dead.
Yeah,
like, yes.
He was dead. Yeah, yeah.
No, you kind of look like him. I don't know how tall he is. He never came on my show, that motherfucker.
How could he do that to you?
I don't know. You know, it's weird. It's like I don't ever talk about music, but like, why wouldn't you want to come on Blake's Buzz and talk about comics when you aren't in the field? But yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. And again, I'm sorry, Keith probably didn't ready you for the weird shit you were going to stumble into.
I tried.
He told me. I'm always ready.
But yeah, everybody who's still, I've kept you guys over an hour. I know I usually try to wrap it up after an hour. It doesn't seem like talking to you guys for an hour. You guys are probably like, yeah, it seems like 2 actually. But I really do. I believe in this comic, and you know, these guys aren't even paying me to say that, ladies and gentlemen. These aren't clients. Like these aren't Blake's Buzz PR clients. These are just friends of the show. Well, Keith's a friend of the show. Stefan's, we'll find out maybe later. But like, just these guys are just out here making really, really, really great comic books with really great art, really great story, and a lot of big feels. And I love big feels. And you know, there's a good soap opera element to superhero stories that I don't think enough people tinker with. Tom King is one of my favorite writers, and I love him that he does this. He focuses on weaknesses and real human elements to these like abhuman characters, these more than human characters, and he brings them down to this area that like we can understand, and he fills them with doubt and worry and insecurities. And I think that makes for really, really, really great superhero dramatics. And you guys are doing that in Daybreak. You know, with the sickness, and the fear of the unknown, of like losing your power, of losing yourself, of putting the misuse of trust, and like, and how vulnerable we get, and how people can manipulate that vulnerability. All of that is just like put wonderfully on display in Daybreak, on top of other superhero shenanigans that we're familiar with. And that's why I think this comic book stands out. And that's why I think you guys are overfunded right now. And I'm glad to see it. And I'm glad that you guys are having fun with it too. Like, I'm glad, you know, like comics can be stressful and scary and weird, and Kickstarter can do the same, right? Like, it's, you know, not everybody can handle Kickstarter. You gotta put the weight on your own shoulders, and you gotta deal with weirdos like me to get the word out and stuff, you know. And I'm glad you guys are doing it, because it's a story that needs to be told, and it's a story that people definitely need to check out. So like, go fucking back this, ladies and gentlemen, like for real. Like, if you haven't checked it out, you get the back issues, get them digitally, get them physically, get whatever you need. But get to where you're ready for this finale, because I feel like this is a finale that like none of us are going to want to miss. And this is a polished book. It's the lettering is beautiful, the coloring is beautiful. Like Keith is a great writer, and Stefan is his fucking art's gnarly good, and just like all the elements are stacking together like the best fucking $350 Lego set you ever bought, right? Like it's a high quality it's a high quality production, and you guys should keep an eye on these guys, and anything that like New Pain does and Keith does and Stefan does in the future. Like you got to keep these guys on your radar because they're killing it. They're doing everything that you need to do in the superhero narrative and in the indie narrative. I can't praise this book enough. I really do love it. I've loved it. I've loved it since the beginning, and I love it now, and that's not going to change no matter what. I really someone says.
I can't thank you enough for all that. That's so nice of you to say. And I think you're the first person besides Stefan and I that have read number 3.
Oh, really? You didn't send that to any of the other shows you did?
No. Well,
oh, man, you're making me feel like the prettiest person at the dance, Keith.
Yeah, well, I did. I sent it to Cody of Keeping It Geekly after the fact, but I don't know if he ever read it or not. So as far as I know, you're the first one to read it. Nice. And the fact that you responded so strongly to it, like I really feel like we did something right.
You did. It really surprised me. There was so much to unpack. So much I wish. Like I'm really excited for you guys to come back for the final issue so that we can talk about this issue, because I have a lot of shit I want to say, but again, like I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil anything, and I would not dare to take away the excitement and like it's just like the hairs on my face were sticking out. Like I got the pins and needles. Like it just like I felt that like good comic book electricity, you know, when you read that fucking really good issue, and when it ends on like such a great cliffhanger, and then and for Kickstarter it's even worse, right? Because we're not getting this next month, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's gonna take a hot minute to get it, but I'm ready, dude. Like I'm excited, and like. And I'm super stoked that it's going to be like 44 pages or so. Like I'm so happy that it's coming. It looks like we got somebody else in the chat that likes it too. Awesome. Thanks, Proud Penguin. Yeah, catch up. Great work. Keep telling great stories. Dude, yeah, come be my co-host. We're on the same level. We should talk. But no, I'm just I really hope you know, this guy. I hope, you know, people watch this and go check it out. I know the Keith's been on before, you know, hyping this book, and I've basically said the same thing every time, that I love it and it's beautiful and it's fun. But this issue 3 really, you said it in the Kickstarter page. It's a banger, like the kids call it. Fucking slaps. Like this issue fucks, right? Now it's like it's good. It's not good, actually. That's a lie. It's fucking great, ladies and gentlemen, and it deserves your money. These guys deserve your money. Stefan deserves extra money, because I just can't imagine what Keith puts him through. Like I know we're all smiles and good times right now, but I know Keith. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's not Alan Moore though. No. Full circle. No, but I've kept you guys for over an hour, and I appreciate you putting up with me this long. As we mentioned, you know, not even a day left, but you can still go back the campaign. The link is in the comments. You can find it. You can also just Google Daybreak comic or Daybreak Kickstarter. It'll pop. It's easy to find. You guys should follow these guys though. Find them on social media. They're good people. They're worth following. Real quick, like where do this is the part, guys. If you have like a web store or a newsletter or easy places to like find you on social media, like let us know right now. Like Stefan, what do you got going on? Where's a good place to find you?
I'm just Stefan Tosheff on all the socials, and I think you can probably get to my shop just by clicking the link on any of those, but I'm very easy to Google. No one else has my name, so if you just take this and slap that right in your search bar, you'll find me.
That's true. That's how I found
me.
Yeah. It is easy to find.
Yeah, so I have an online shop with some of my other graphic novels that I've done that you can probably hit up through the link tree in my Twitter and Instagram. So you can find me there pretty easily. And if you want to find my other books, they're right there. I got Minerva's Map, which is the one I wrote and drew. It's a
Ooh.
100-page adventure story that I did with New Friday, the publisher, and it is kind of funny.
Ooh. Humor's hard. Humor's hard in comics. If you can pull that off, you're on another level. But yeah, check him out. Check out his stuff. His art speaks for itself. Like, I already want to like buy some more of his books just to see like what he's got fucking cooking in the Tosheff kitchen, baby. Like, I'm ready to see it and experience it. Keith, what about you, man? You don't do a newsletter, do you, or do you? No,
I don't.
Too cool for that shit. Yeah, I get it.
No, I don't think anyone would read it, so I don't bother doing it.
Fuck that. No, do it. Someone will read it.
Yeah. First of all, I've read Whenever's Map, and it's a pretty great comic, so people
Nice.
should probably try to check that one out.
Nice.
And then if you want to find me, the easiest way is Pretentious Keith Champagne on Instagram, and that can kind of take you anywhere else you might need to go.
I love your Instagram name. It makes me laugh every time I look you up on there.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I can amuse you
Yes.
with my pretentiousness.
Dance for me, Keith. Amuse me. No, man, it's like for real. I love the work you're doing. I love the work you've done. I bought those 3 JSA omnibuses. I've wanted them for like a really, really long time, and I bought them like probably a year ago, and still haven't got. They're still in the plastic. I still haven't got a chance to read them. Like, I really want to read them, man. Everything's crazy right now, and like I said, I bought Matt Kent's Super Spy, the Eisner nominated graphic novel design category. And I'm like, man, this is like 400 pages. When am I going to have time to read this? And I've got clients like sending me messages right now. Like, Blake, did you read that book I sent you? And I'm just like, I'm going to read that tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to say yes. And but yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool to see like this road that you've kind of paved, and like where you started and where you went and where you're at and where you're going. It's a cool ride that I'm really glad you've let me be a part of by, sacrificing that last bit of your sanity to be on my show 4 times. I feel like coming on Blake's Buzz is like those old meth commercials where they're like taking the frying pan and they're like, this is your brain. And then this is your brain on drugs, and the chick's just in the kitchen, like smashing all the plates with the frying pan. And I'm like, this is your comic. This is your comic on Blake's Buzz. Ah! Like, I don't know. I just feel like that sometimes. But you know what?
Your brain on comics.
Yeah. The comics ruin brains. No, they don't. They make your brains better, actually. That's what is going on with this Michael Katz comment. Daybreak gets a mammogram. That's a one shot we could think about. I guess that would be the whether we live or not, like, would be the where that goes. Maybe, I don't know. It's something to think about.
Mike, when you write a comic, how come it's not that funny? Maybe put a little more into the script there, kid.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Keep it out. Michael Katz will be back on the show soon too. He's got some cool sci-fi thing coming out he wants to talk about, I guess. But we'll talk about that later. Quick,
I know a lot about that project.
Oh yeah.
In my lettering studio, my letterer Alfie Betts is lettering that for Mike. So
you have a lettering studio?
Yeah, it's me.
Is that like all New Pain production stuff?
No, it's just me. I letter stuff under the pseudonym Alfie Betts.
What?
Yeah, but I lettered Mike's book. It's really good. It's called Metalhead, so I'll give it.
Yeah, no, that's right. He told me about it. Oh, wait, that's not the sci-fi book then? That's is that like a sexy book? Or is it sci-fi and sexy?
It's got some titties.
I thought we talked about that the last time he was on the show. Like, he was kind of like,
well, no, Riot Earp is his like regular sexy book. This is his sci-fi sexy book.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I think it's kind of heavy metal-esque.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I think people will dig it. He's doing some great stuff through his imprint too. Really putting his money where his mouth is to make comics that he loves.
Yeah. Which is, again, like one of the cool things about this world we're in right now is, like, if you got a dream and you got some cash and you got some work ethic, you can make it happen. You really can. There's no excuse. Well, I mean, we can always make excuses, but there's really no excuse if you have a dream of making a comic. Like, the world is ready to help you tell your story. So is Metal Ninja Studios. If you guys want to sign up for a free consultation on the website, this is what I work for them. So I totally unpromoted. That's just me slutting myself out. Anyway, but guys, I love this book. It's so good. You're both so great at storytelling, at art, at scripting. I can just tell how much you both love comic books in every page and every panel, in every fucking pixel. Like you feel it. And I'm really excited for these 200 and almost 40 backers to get this and experience it like I got to, because it was a mad fucking experience, baby. Like I love it.
Let's fucking go. I want to get to 278 for backers. Our very first campaign for Daybreak had 277. I want to beat it by one. We're almost to our $8,000 stretch goal. We're just less than $200 away.
Yeah.
What are we going to get? What are we going to give them?
Well, so for our $7,000 stretch goal, we're doing a Marvel handbook style entry for Daybreak. At 8,000, we're doing one for Doc Matter. And then if we hit 8,500 at kind of the last minute, we're going to do one for the character of the Machine, because they're fun, and I can cram a lot of extra background information into those entries that people don't need for the story, but it's going to add texture.
I got you guys 3 backers in an hour and 25 minutes.
Thank you.
You're at 241.
Let's go.
This has officially not been a waste of your guys' time.
Even with 0 backers, it's nothing but fun talking to you.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Keith, always a pleasure, man. You come back on the show anytime, for real. Just please remember to hassle me, and if I suck at responding, I'm trying to get better. It's hard. Emails are hard, guys. It's hard to respond to all these emails. There's so much pressure. No, sorry.
I'll come on with my cats for Metalhead.
You should.
You should. Book. And
I like when you guys are on together.
You should do a show just with Stefan here and really pick his brain about his process and the books he does, because the kid's a genius.
Okay.
Like he's a young genius who's only now starting to get noticed.
Thanks,
like
man.
10 years from now, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I worked with Keith Champagne once. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, and I'll be like, hey, Stefan, like, remember when you came on my show? And he'll be like, no.
Yep. No, get on the ground floor with this kid, because he's going places.
No.
Next time I'll be on, I'm gonna have like a big coat with it and silver glasses,
with the shoulder pads,
with shoulder pads, with like, and I'm gonna have lifts in my shoes.
I want to watch that show.
Yeah, I want to host it already. No, Stefan, yeah, man. I know this is like, if you want me, if you want to do something like that, that'd be great, man. If you want me to like review any of your books or talk about them, man, like hit me up and hit me up in the DMs or something, man. We can talk about future stuff, because you're I would love to have you back on. You're a really great talent. You're really chill. You're easy to talk to. So that's like the 3 best things you can hope for on a live stream.
Totally, man. Thanks. Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, guys, unless you guys have anything else left to say, I'm gonna close it out and play the music. You guys got anything else you want to shout out?
Just say thank you for having us on again, and hope that people that have watched this at least take a look at the campaign page. We're making something special.
Yeah, and hit that bell and subscribe. Right?
Share, like, and subscribe.
Right? Did I do that?
Yeah,
right?
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah,
you should start a YouTube channel. It's so easy and fun. It's fun usually. It's fun when you get cool guys like these on. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, thank you for hanging out in the chat. Thank you for commenting. The people that backed during this live stream, like, thank you so much for backing. I'm sure these guys appreciate it. I appreciate it too, because it makes me feel, I feel like I'm part of the team when you guys do that. Like I'm helping. It's again, as I've said many times, is an awesome campaign. You got to check it out. Get the back issues, get the variants, get the digital copies, whatever you got to do to get up to speed. But be ready for that double-sized finale. That's so exciting, and I can't wait for it. Everybody, again, I love our viewers. I love my guests. I'm so lucky to do what I get to do, and to have fun and joke around with these talented individuals and nerd out. I appreciate everybody for helping me be in that position. Love more, hate less, read comics. That's the slogan. That's what we believe. Live by it, die by it. Back this fucking book because Daybreak is awesome. Follow these guys on Twitter. Check out Stefan's store. Buy some dope comics. Read them. Talk about them. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your mom to tell her fucking her tea party people. Tell your dad to tell his fishing friends. You know, like get it out there. Make everybody read this shit. That's what needs to happen. But no, for real, like Daybreak deserves your time, your money, and your attention. You got 14 hours left to make a good decision, ladies and gentlemen. And I just hope that you do it. I hope that you do it. Again, thank you both for coming on. Stefan, it was so great to meet you. Keith, it was so great to have you back on the show. Appreciate you both for giving me your time. And I'm excited for what you guys do in the future. You know, keep this dream team together. Keep making cool stuff.
Thank you, bro.
Or don't. Stefan, run and escape if that's what needs to. You know, like blink twice if he's. Are you in Keith's basement right now? Is that why your internet is shot?
Yeah, I shut. I'm chained to the floor.
Draw, monkey, draw.
Draw.
I can draw a monkey.
Yeah, he draws them on the moon. Keith is a great person, ladies and gentlemen. He does not have anybody chained up in his basement unless they want to be. We're not going to get into that though. Jesus Christ. Anyways, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. Keith, Stefan, I hope you recover from this experience shortly. And I'm glad the campaign did so well. And I'm glad in 14 hours you guys can take a nap and quit worrying about it, at least until those printed copies show up and you got to stuff them in envelopes and send them out to everybody. Because that's the real fun part that no one talks about.
Truth.
Always. Guys, thank you so much. Everybody, I will see you tomorrow. I've got Jason Copeland on. Come in to talk Full Tilt. Be on tomorrow night. Really stoked to talk about that. That dude's fucking printing money. I don't know why he's talking to me. We're going to talk to him, though. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then Friday and over this weekend, I'm going to take a nap. And that's what I'm going to do. And you know what? Fuck it. That's it. Love you, love you, love you. See you guys later.
Later.
It's Blake's Buzz Live.
We survived. We did it.
We did it.
Yay.
You guys
I have
did
to
it.
pee now.